The American quilt that you see for the bed came about when the slaves were given the least to make do with. And in their efforts to recreate Kenta, if you put the log cabin squares together in the appropriate colors, it starts looking like Kenta cloth. So in their efforts to recreate Kenta, they began to quilt. So what they did was they took the rags that were given to them, because they were living in the slave quarters, which had no dirt floors and very little covering, and they began to put these scraps together to create covers for them. So sometimes when that happens and the people, the masters or whoever they were, saw these, they began to take these pieces and bring them into the house. And they did not like the rich blues and the rich yellows, so they began to do the softer, and we got the calico colors, and that started with the bed quilt. But quilting stems from Africa. I'm now working on a series that will travel overseas for 5 years from pictures that I took while I was traveling in Africa, and they will be framed out in one of the patterns used, one of the 12 patterns used in the Underground Railroad quilt. And the quilts used in the Underground Railroad told a story too. And the story was either that the safe house was approachable or it was not. When they got there, if it was on the quilted side, they knew that it was safe to approach it. And if it was on the back side, they knew that they needed to stay away. So even then, quilts provided for us a sense of direction. It is my hope and my desire that my quilts also provide a sense of direction, kind of a direction of where we've been, where we are, and sometimes where we're going. And this quilt is in honor of the Maasai warriors. The Maasai warriors were African warriors that just refused to be taken. They had a lot of heart. They were not going any place. And the reason that I call it angels watching over me, because I believe that there are angels that watch over Phyllis Stephens, and they got to be Maasai warriors. They can't just be regular old angels. So the 3 is the number of completion. That quilt, when I was in Africa last summer and last August, and most of the fabrics, a lot of the fabrics used in that quilt are the fabrics that I went to buy over in Africa. It is a heartwarming quilt. I did a lot of research on the warriors, and just the fact that there were people who refused to be taken so much where they left them alone. That took a lot of heart. They could not be broken. So the quilting for me is about the story quilts, just the things that we live, just our lives, just where it's been placed in us. It's a deep beginning for me. I started quilting when I was 8 years old, when I spent my summers in Athens, Georgia with my grandmother. And we would sit on the porch. I tell people all the time, very quickly, that you can do 3 things in Athens, Georgia. You could throw rocks, you could roll tires, or you could quilt.